The Rangers' first two series of the season are done. Probably better than we thought they were going to do. 4-2 road trip. Not a fun one today. We're going to talk about it all next on the DLLS Rangers podcast. And welcome into the Rangers DLS Rangers podcast presented by Gametime, our presenting sponsor on this one. Tell you what, not a bad road trip at all. You know, going east, going to Philadelphia where it's tough to play, going to Baltimore where the Orioles are expecting to be better. Don't quite look it just yet, but pretty good stuff. I'm Jeff Wilson. You just saw my Twitter at Jeff Wilson TXR. We got John Anderson, usually on the Cowboys show. He's getting a one-day promotion today to the Rangers, so he's going to help make this thing look good. And like I always say, I need all the help I can get. The Rangers just finished up the road trip finale, the series finale at Baltimore. Lost 8-3. Kind of puts, maybe puts a damper on the road trip, but I don't think it should. Again, it is early, long way to go. This is about winning series. Playoff teams always talk about, we got to win series. Well, when it comes to that, the Rangers are 2-0. Probably didn't happen the way everybody thought it would, but it happened. And here we go. Rangers lose 8-3 today. Nathan Eovaldi, the losing pitcher, he struggled with his location all day, lasted 4 innings, gave up 6 runs. So through 2 starts, he's allowed 11 runs in 8 2/3 innings. He took both losses on the road trip, so probably not what you'd expect from your opening day starter and a guy who was so good last year with his 1.73 ERA. Again, he claims to be healthy after the offseason surgery for the sports hernia, and nothing's bothering him, no scar tissue, anything like that. Command, the location seemed to be a problem today. He was spraying pitches all over, which is pretty unusual for Nate. The big blast, if you will, was a home run in the 5th by Sam Basayo, the big hitting prospect for the Orioles, the catcher, first baseman / DH. That started the 5th, and Eovaldi exited after an ensuing walk. Orioles scored 3 in the inning. That was the game right there. Kind of broke things open. Leody Taveras feeling some sports hate. Mike Napoli term, 2-run double. He went 2 for 2 with 2 walks. He scored a run. One of his best games of the season. I think it might be his first start of the season. Anyway, Leody sticking it to his old team. Taylor Ward, 2 RBI. Jeremiah Jackson, not Jeremiah Johnson, 2 RBIs. The 7, 8, and 9 hitters for the fighting Orioles went 4 for 7 with 3 walks, 4 RBIs, and they scored 2 runs. So you really want to try to break this down. Yes, Eovaldi wasn't very good, but the guys at the bottom of the order are the ones that got him, and that happens to starters and teams from time to time. You don't like to see it if you're on the losing side. If you're on the winning side, it gives you hope that your offense is on its way and going to be doing good things. Trevor Rogers, the left-hander who really stuck it to the Rangers last season in 2 starts, including 8 scoreless in June at Camden Yards. He was okay. He was really good for the first 3 innings. He ended up allowing 2 runs in 6 innings, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk. Very, very efficient early on. Was putting the Rangers in swing mode. The road trip really outside of the opener when they lost to Christopher Sanchez, who struck out 10 in 6 innings and threw a ton of strikes. Rangers really grinded out at bats on the road trip, but they weren't able to do that the first 3 innings. 4th inning was kind of a glimmer of hope for the Rangers. 4 straight 2-out hits, including RBI singles by Josh Jung and Ezekiel Duran. Then Nathan Eovaldi comes out in the bottom half, 1-2-3 inning, his only 1-2-3 inning of the day. For Jung, it broke into 0 for 18 slump to start the season. He also singled later in the game, flew out to medium deep center field there in his last at bat. So maybe the day off he got Tuesday, fix some things between the ears, maybe fix some swings, some things in the cage. I'm not sure. With Josh, I always think it's more of a mental thing, an approach thing, than it is necessarily a swing thing. The last Rangers run came on a Corey Seager homer to start the 8th. That's his 3rd homer of the season. Corey Seager doing Corey Seager things. On the mound after Langford, Carter Baumler, he pitched the 6th and the 7th. Wasn't bad. He gave up a home run in his first inning there, the 6th to Beavers. Curveball looked really, really good. Baumler comes back out for the 7th, scoreless 7th. If you look at the road trip, he pitched 3 times. His first 3 appearances of his career. This is a kid who was the Rule 5 pick, had barely pitched in Double-A. And so every appearance he made in this series, there's at least a 5-run margin. Either the Rangers were up 5 or they were down by 5 or more. And so that's kind of the good way to break a kid like this in, right? You talk about having to hide a guy if he's going to be a liability. I don't think Baumler's going to be a liability, but again, he can't be optioned because of the Rule 5 rules. So you're trying to get this kid acclimated to big league baseball, convince him that his stuff works, and maybe build some confidence to the point where you can use him maybe in a little more leverage situations at some point during the season. That's a pretty good way to do it. So I think a pattern's developed. If the Rangers are ever up or behind by at least 5 runs, you're gonna see Carter Baumler in the game. Jacob Latz pitched the 8th. It was an easy 8th, but that's not insignificant as the Rangers are trying to sort through some rotation options. So they're done with the first road trip. Lost the first, lost the last, sandwiched 4 straight wins in between. They're 4-2. They're still first place in the division. What do we think? We like the offense a whole heck of a lot, don't we? You have to. Just the at-bats, the way everything went in terms of scoring runs, but showing some versatility, showing multiple ways to beat an opponent, whether it be stringing at-bats together, whether it be knocking the ball over the fence. These are things that the Rangers knew they could do. It just took the right voice, maybe, concentrating, focusing on it throughout the offseason, throughout all of spring training, and even now in batting practice, you can still hear whoever the hitting coach is behind the cage, usually Justin Veely, at least one round of BP, shouting out situations and asking hitters to do what to do. It's on their mind. At the very least, it's on their mind. And you saw some pretty good stuff from the Rangers offense so far. I don't want to say exciting. I try to temper my enthusiasm. 6 games into a 162 game season, right? So again, long way to go, but this is a lot better looking offense than it at this point last year. We'll get into that a little bit later in the last segment as we set up the home opener. But hey, you'll take it. And then on the pitching side, what do you think? Eovaldi, are you concerned? I wouldn't think so. It's not the start he wanted to get off to. Obviously, not as good a start as he got off to last season. But this is still Nathan Eovaldi, and it's kind of weird. I had this thought pop into my head. This is probably as healthy as he's been in a couple years. Let's say maybe going into his first year with the Rangers, all the way back in the offseason of 22 when he signed. So going into 23, you think about it, 23 was such a long year, and yes, he spent some time on the IL during the season, had a little time off, but he still pitched late into the year. Probably was still a little fatigued when he started his off-season throwing program going into 24. In 24, he started to feel the sports hernia, had the sports hernia, pitched through it. Okay, so maybe not a normal offseason for him at that point either. And then, finally, ultimately, he had to have the hernia surgery in the offseason. So maybe this is as good as he's felt, and he's had to adjust his body. I don't know. But it was a little strange today to see him spraying the ball over the place. The start in opening day last Thursday, he gave up 2 home runs. He gave up a 3-run homer to Alex Bohm to chase him. Gave up the 2-run homer in the first to Kyle Schwarber. But in between, he was really, really good. Had 7 strikeouts, only walked a 1 hitter. So he wasn't spraying it around that day. It just, he did miss some locations on the home run pitches. Today, it was kind of an adventure for him. And you can kind of tell when he doesn't make any secrets when he's not feeling it on the mound. It's the body language. It's the turning around, shaking his pitch, shaking his head. I don't know that he curses audibly. Maybe he does after a bad pitch. It was a lot of that, and you could see that he was fighting himself, and that happens to him multiple, not multiple. That makes it sound like it happens a lot. It's not rare, I guess. It will happen from time to time, and he usually, like Cordua says, gets things fixed. He'll get things fixed, and sometimes he has enough stuff where he can land on a pitch that works of his, 7 or 8 pitches that he throws. Something in his arsenal will get him through a start. Early on, I thought it was the curveball, but then he started missing location with that. Through the splitter, it was reasonably effective. Fastball velocity was, 93, 94, so maybe he's still building up a little arm strength. Maybe he's got a little dead arm period that happens to every pitcher. They've got to go through it. Maybe that's the case with Evo, but yeah, so after 2 starts, he's 0-2, 8 2/3 innings, 3 walks, 12 strikeouts, so that's good. That's normal Nathan Eovaldi stuff. 3 homers, probably not normal Nathan Eovaldi stuff. And then his ERA is 11.42. Yeah, that's one of those small sample size, ugly looking things that I bet gets fixed his next time out, which it's looking like will be against the Mariners next week. Big intra-division rivalry series early on here in the season as the Mariners come to town. But yeah, that wasn't very good today from him, and I'm sure the reporters there, he admitted it and took the blame for it, and all those things that Nathan Eovaldi does after the Rangers lose a game, whether he's pitched well or pitched poorly, it's always his fault. Same thing with Jacob deGrom. That's what the veteran leaders do, so that's good. Rarities I see up there, glad Leote isn't on an AL West team. I love the guy. I've known him for such a long time, and he's just such a dynamic athlete. He's fast, he's strong, he can do a lot of things on a baseball field a lot of people can't. He just hasn't put it all together, but I think he is a major league player. I think some things got to him last year. He was kind of poor defensively with the Rangers, which is very uncharacteristic with him. Eventually, he gets DFA'd and claimed by the Mariners. Defense gets worse, and I think he finishes the year at AAA for them. He doesn't want to go back to Tacoma or whereas the Orioles are in Norfolk. He doesn't want to go there. He's a major league player. He knows it. And like Napoli said, and as I mentioned frequently on the show, there is such a thing as sports hate. You always want to do well against the team that discarded you. And Leote might have been feeling that today, but great person, great human being, family man, and I'm glad he's still around in the majors. And to your point, the Rangers will see him one more time, Kelly, man, or Rarities, as opposed to seeing him, I don't know, maybe 3 more times with another AL, if you were with an AL West team. So I'm happy for Leote. And again, Rangers lost today 8-3. Doesn't put much of a damper, though, on what was a very, very good season opening 4-2 road trip atop the American League West. For all those who are looking at the standings early on, forget that. It's just a good start. And considering what the Rangers are up against in their first 40 to really 60 games, if you want to go until the end of May, it's a real tough schedule. Hey, off to a good start there. All right. Hey, we're going to go to our first ad break. When we get back, we'll look a little bit more at the road trip. I know on Monday's show we talked about the Philly series, but a couple other things we probably ought to look at. And then, we'll start looking at the home opener after that. So, guys, stick around on the DLS Rangers podcast. Hey, guys, it is time to tell you about the wonderful people at Gametime. The Wilsons actually became first-time Gametime users on Monday night. Maybe it was Tuesday night. The wife wants to take the kids to the Rangers game on Sunday, Easter Sunday. So we did it through Gametime. We used the code DLLS, and by God, we did in fact get $20 off our first purchase. So it is cost-friendly. We got view of the seats, many options that we wanted to try and look at. And the prices were indeed what you see is what you get. They have tickets still available, many tickets still available for Friday's home opener, starting at $91. It's right field corner, but it's $91. Gets you in the ballpark. Anyway, they're great people. They were here here with us from day one back in August of 2024, and they're still kicking. So here's what you do. You download the Gametime app, use the code DLS, and get $20 off your first purchase. Hey, guys, FanDuel Predicts. We talked about it in Monday's show. They're new to DLS. We are thrilled to have them here. It's the prediction markets. You can do sports. You can do commodities, financials, crypto, stuff that I don't understand and probably don't want to understand, but I feel pretty good about the sports. I'm doing okay. It doesn't cost a lot. And right now, if the NCAA tournament about to wind down, upsets tend to predict one of those, and you tend to do a lot better. It's fun. It really is fun. It is not daily fantasy. It's predicting game outcomes or oil price outcomes, for crying out loud. Anyway, you can take a position on the spread, the point totals, or the winning team. Put $10 on FanDuel Predicts, and they'll match with a $10 bonus. Offered by FanDuel Prediction Markets, LLC, a registered futures commissions market. Merchant 18 and older, one per user minimum, $10 deposit required. Trading derivatives involves significant risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Manage your activity with our consumer production tools. Whew, hope you guys got all that legal stuff there on the FanDuel Predicts. It's I'm going to try to get it down, but you can't read it too fast. Lawyers have warned we can't read it too fast. It's got to be quick, but not too quick. So, but anyway, predict responsibly. How about that? All right, so the road trip, as we talked about, I don't know, it's probably the 6th or 7th time I've mentioned it. 4-2, 2-1 in each series. So Monday's show we went through the opening series, pretty fine-toothed comb. Good Lord. Lost the opener. Christopher Sanchez was great. I believe he's pitching again today for the Phillies. Jacob Blatt stepped in on Saturday, pitched well, overcame the Jake Berger error in the 9th, and the Chris Martin, Robert Garcia inability to get the 27th out. Talked about how awesome Andrew McCutchen appears to be. So the lingering issue from that series that bled over into Baltimore was Jacob deGrom's status. He was scratched from his debut start Saturday with neck stiffness. Coincidentally, I am dealing with neck stiffness, and it's no fun for a 51-year-old sports writer, let alone this guy who knows his body so well and has about a 0.001% body fat. So I kind of feel his pain. Fortunately, I don't have to go out and throw baseballs. But he did throw baseballs. Everybody was saying he was going to pitch Tuesday. He felt better Sunday, felt really good Monday. Then after then Monday morning, they announced that Jacob deGrom was indeed going to be the starting pitcher Tuesday against the Orioles. And he was good. He came out in the first inning, 99-mile-per-hour fastball. I tell you what, you kind of think about the ABS and rarities. I saw you felt weird to end the game on the ABS call. There were a couple pitches that I felt deGrom could have challenged. He's when he's going good, which is almost all the time, he is all over the plate. And there are sometimes I just think the umpires guess, honestly. And I felt that there were a couple instances in that first inning and throughout the game where very close pitches that were taken by Orioles hitters that a little helmet tap could have done the job and gotten him a strike. But anyway, he was good. I thought he fatigued a little bit in the 5th, gave up a home run to his buddy Pete Alonso in the 3rd. Then the 5th, the pitch count approaching 80, he gave up a 2-out, 2-run double to Gunnar Henderson. on a pitch that Jacob said afterward he really thought was a pretty good pitch. It was just a good job of hitting. So that ended his day. 79 pitches. I think it was 6 or 7 strikeouts, 3 runs. He hadn't pitched in a game since the last day of camp. So that was a long time ago. That was March 21st. So a long break there. And then he hadn't faced like great hitters. He hadn't faced a major league lineup really all of spring training. There was one Cactus League start he made, covered 3 innings. His debut was in the stadium in Surprise, but it was against Brazil, which had no major league players in the lineup. So this was probably his first real true test of 2026. Just so happened to be in the Rangers' 5th game of the season. He was fine. He's going to be very, very good. So don't worry about him. The neck, he said, is no problem. Didn't hear anything bad coming out of Baltimore today. So good news there. That game, the Rangers ended up winning 3 homers, including Ezekiel Duran for the first time in a major league game since September of 2024. So good for him. Good for Zeke. Corey Seager homered. No surprise. But the big blast was a 3-run homer by Danny Jansen, his first home run with the Rangers. And, when I think about right-handed hitting Rangers catchers in that ballpark, I always think about Mitch Garver, who hit the grand slam in the first game of the division series in 2023. So that was the first thought that popped into my mind. The first guy out of the bullpen into the game in relief of deGrom was Cole Winn. And he got out of that inning, pitched a scoreless 6th inning, and first career win for Cole Winn. So pretty good little stretch here for Cole Winn. Had a baby in March, and then now his first career win. And of course, he's from Colorado and a terrific golfer, so automatically like Cole Winn. Then the game Monday, Jack Leiter was really, really good in his season debut. Didn't look good in the first, and then just kind of took off, right? 2 runs in 6 innings, 92 pitches, 8 strikeouts, 21 swings and misses, which is a huge, huge number. It was everything. Fastball, his cutter, his slider, the kick change. He was really, really in charge there. You saw so many defensive swings. Yeah, what inning was it? The 5th, I think, when the Orioles got their second run. It started with, it might have been Cowser just kind of, slapping a ball that the infield was shifted, and it turned into a hit. Then it followed another hit. It also came after the umpire had rung up the batter. I think it was Cowser. Had rung up Cowser. Cowser challenged and was correct. And I kind of thought that unsettled Jack a little bit. The Rangers were throwing the ball around, and Jack was walking around the mound like he does after a strikeout, and then all of a sudden I think it filled the count with that ball, and he ended up either walking him or giving up a hit. Yeah, giving up the hit on the ridiculous swing. But anyway, it kind of started a little bit of an Orioles rally, but he came back in the 6th, did really, really well in the 6th there because the Rangers were short in the bullpen. They basically had 5 guys, and they absolutely positively did not want to use one of them, Kamar Rocker. So that was big for him to get through 6. Then you saw Jacob Junis with a wonderful play, 2 really good plays, but one that was just terrific. The Orioles challenged. The call stood. Jalen Beeks, who keeps just doing great things, a guy who only had 3 spring appearances, and that's all he needs. He's done well. And then Tyler Alexander came in again and closed it out. One of those things that you don't expect. And so after the first Rangers road trip, here are some things I did not expect. I did not expect that this team would go 4-2. I thought, you always, when you go on the road, you hope to have a winning record, but you always hope to break even, go 3-3. A 500 road record will get you into the playoffs. And they went ahead and won 4 of the 6. I think the Saturday game was a big one for them to win with the adversity they had faced. deGrom getting scratched 4 hours before first pitch. And so all of a sudden, Latz is in there, 4 scoreless innings, and then we recall the trouble they faced in the ninth inning with the Phillies scoring 3 times, all after Jake Berger's error. So that's pretty good, and then Tyler Alexander getting the save, his second career save, and so what else did I not expect? 2 saves on this road trip for Tyler Alexander. I'll be honest, I don't think Tyler Alexander expected it, right? He had 1 career save coming into this one, and I think Saturday it was down to Alexander, Baumler, or Rocker, and the Rangers really didn't want to use Rocker because they thought maybe they might have to use him later on the road trip. He was initially scheduled to start Monday's opener at Baltimore, but the deGrom injury kind of threw things for a loop. They still wanted to stay away from him. Baumler, they had used 2 days earlier in the season opener, but a save situation at that ballpark with the free runner on base, that might have been a little too much for him. And so Alexander, who's the veteran, he went ahead and got the start there, or got the 10th, and ended up closing out the game. Did not expect that one at all. Also on the did not expect card, I'll be honest, I didn't expect Josh Jung to struggle. I felt good about his spring, even though he didn't have a ton of at-bats because of that adductor strain. It kept him out for a lot longer than everybody thought. But when he played, even before the strain, he was hitting the ball really, really well. And then he comes back and, again, is hitting the ball hard. Line drives. I think he snuck a home run in there at the end. It was doing really good. And more importantly, he was saying the right things. So he was saying what you wanted to hear, that he needed to get out of his own head, that he needed to not worry about the day-to-day numbers and the day-to-day grind. Well, guess what? It looked like Tuesday he was worrying about those numbers after starting with 3 hitless games. And then that game Tuesday, he lined out, or Monday, he lined out in his last at-bat. But there wasn't a pitch that they could throw that he didn't want to swing at. And that kind of tells you that you're searching and not sure up there. But anyway, I wasn't expecting that. Another thing I was not expecting, the lasso. We've all seen it. We've all seen the Rangers celebration following something good offensively. Josh Jung did it today after his RBI hit. Started by Andrew McCutchen. And as Kyle Higashioka said, McCutchen looks really good doing it because he's, a good-looking guy, former MVP, been around for a long, long time. Andrew can do it. The rest of the guys, it's kind of a struggle. Wyatt Langford doesn't look good doing it. I really don't think Evan Carter looks good doing it. I don't think any of them look good doing it. I'm not a fan of the lasso. However, they seem to be a fan of it. They're having fun with it, and that tells you, hey, this team's having fun, letting its guard down, and that is a good thing. Hey, John, how much longer do we have till the ad break? I've lost track of time. 90 seconds. Hot damn. And then I did not expect, obviously, Jake Latz to perform like he did. I don't want to, cast any, throw any shade at one of my favorite guys on the team and a guy who's been on the weekly show a couple times. Great guy, but he didn't have a good spring, right? And he acknowledged that after his last spring start. I think he knew it, but also, I think when the third, you add a third deck, you put some butts in the seats, and sometimes it just flips a switch for people. So yes, I'm glad that he pitched very well. Skip Schumacher said it was an opportunity for him, and then it apparently hasn't parlayed itself into another start as he pitched in relief today. And reading the chat, I'll check this during the commercial break myself. But there you go. And then was I a fan of the claw and the antlers? I was a fan of it. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that one. The antlers was really goofy. The claw was okay. But this lasso thing seems a little I don't know. Maybe I'll grow into it. Okay, guys, we've got number 2 ad break coming along here. Pay attention to it, and then we will try to get ready for the home opener and answer those rotation questions because our graphic currently has some TBDs or TBAs as the Rangers sent out before the game. We'll get onto that here in just a second on the Rangers DLLS podcast. Hey, just like I said Monday, it's not a Rangers podcast without hearing about our friends at Wild Fork Meat and Seafood Markets, 9 DFW locations. You can go to their website, wildforkfoods.com, shop there. You become a member for $29 for a year. You can shop online and get same-day or next-day delivery for free. Hard to beat that deal. Hard to beat the prices at Wild Fork Foods where they meet every Monday and get all the prices from around the area, whether it be grocery stores or other butchers or whatever, and they try to match or beat the lowest prices on whatever variety of meat it is, whether it's the standards like the poultry and the beef and the pork, or maybe something a little more exotic like kangaroo. All this stuff and more you can find at Wild Fork Meat and Seafood Markets. They're great people, so I strongly encourage you to go to the store, listen to what they have to say, take their advice. Wild Fork Meat and Seafood Market, 9 DFW locations. And then, hey, people at airdna.co might be looking at your location, i.e. your house, if you want to put it available for rent for the World Cup. We're talking about game-changing money here, $14,000 to $23,500 just for surrendering your home for a month. You know, the World Cup is coming this summer. Jerry World there is a venue. There are going to be teams from all over the world. And here's the thing about soccer fans in the World Cup. No matter which country it is, they travel. Their fans absolutely travel. Somebody was saying that the Netherlands is coming. Holy smokes. Do they travel and do they wear orange? So here's what you need to do. You need to download this app, go to airdna.co/DLLS, enter your information, and they'll tell you what they think you can make. Again, it's game-changing money, up to $23,000 this summer, airdna.co. There you go. Go make some money. We want you guys to be rich, and you can turn around and spend some of that money on our merch that we'll talk about here in a little bit. All right, third segment here. It's brought to you by Gametime, and let's take a look at our probable pitchers. Remember, download the Gametime app, use the code DLS, and you can get $20 off your first purchase. By God, it works. My wife just did it. Anyway, let's take a look at our graphic. Lots of TBAs there, as that was sent out this morning in the game notes, and that was the case throughout the game. Just came out, and Rangers have since confirmed that Mackenzie Gore is going to start the home opener. He pitched Sunday, so he'll be on normal rest, and then so he'll face Brady Singer, the veteran, who former first-round pick from Florida, University of Florida, probably Florida's the state of. I just don't know that for sure. Second year with the Reds after debuting, spent a lot of time with the Royals there. Then Rhett Lauder Saturday, and this is where Kumar Rocker's going to slide in. Then it's looking like Chase Burns for the Reds, and Jack Leiter's turn would come up after that. So Saturday and Sunday, it'll be the Vandy boys for the Rangers against the Deacon boys for the Reds. So that'll be fun. Lauder and Burns. Boy, Burns has some serious stuff, man. So that'll be a fun series. And again, the home opener, always a good time, always a sellout. Lots of people come and they're excited. Lots of media show up and won't be back for a while, for which I'm thankful. Nothing against any of those guys, but the crowd's a little big, a lot bigger than it normally is. Don't the Cowboys have an OTA or something coming up? I hope so. Cowboys always win over the TV folks, and we'll draw them away from the ballpark. All right, the Reds are a pretty good team. They were up against Skeens today, and I believe they ended up losing that game 8-3, but they ended up getting as close as 4-3 at one point. A young team, a lot of hope on this team that this will finally be their year to break through. Nathaniel Lowe on the team. He actually started today at DH, got a hit and an RBI and 2 at bats, and I believe it was his first start of the year. Then they lifted him for a pinch hitter, and Eugenio Suarez hit a 2-run homer. So, some young guys, but some veteran guys, and you'll see a lot of Suarez. Sal Stewart's off to a real good start, their first baseman, young kid, and Ellie De La Cruz, super exciting, all of that stuff. So should be a good time at the ballpark, and as always, I hope for a closed roof. And I saw the tweet that they sent out today on Globe Life Field. The roof will be open all season. April Fools, haha. That is not fun. Don't even go there with me. Okay. So what do you expect from a home opener? Well, yeah, there's always going to be a big crowd. It's going to be exciting. There's pomp, there's circumstance, and it's an experience. You should go if you haven't been. You get the opportunity to go. You get to see giant flags and you get to see a bunch of Texas-themed songs by the great Joe LaGrone. He always sings Texas, Our Texas, or My Texas, whatever the name of it is. But it's good. Chuck Morgan always digs out a pretty good national anthem singer to start off the debut. But yeah, the first homestand, and the Reds are no pushover. Like I said, they took 2 out of 3 in their opening series from the Red Sox in the Battle of the Sox there. The first pitch, we just got word of this. Jake Ottinger will be throwing out the first pitch, the Stars goalie and the gold medalist for Team USA. So that's pretty cool. Saturday, dot race bobblehead. 4 of the first 6 games on this homestand will have promotional giveaway items. But what else can we expect on Friday? Well, it's a 3:05 start. Parking opens at 10 a.m. for those of you who want to tailgate or do whatever you do before a game. The gates open at noon, which is earlier than normal. The first 30,000 fans will receive a magnetic schedule. That is my wife's favorite giveaway. Neil McCoy, there it is. If I had to lay money down on who was going to sing the national anthem, I was going to bet Neil McCoy, the country artist from East Texas, and it seems to be Chuck Morgan's favorite. Big Rangers fan, always seems to be available. So looking forward to that one. There'll be some big flags. The Clydesdales. Oh, we always like the Clydesdales. They'll be there. The World Series trophy will be on hand. Still no reason to walk away from that one. So it'll be a good time at the ballpark, and so get there. And then now that we know who's pitching, Mackenzie Gore, we like what he did Sunday against the Phillies. How couldn't you like it? 5 no-hit innings to open it up. That'll work. He gave up a couple there in the 6th. Maybe he got tired. Maybe the Phillies figured something out, although he's generally had good success against the Phillies in his career. He's probably faced the Reds as much or more than any other Rangers pitcher out there because of his National League time, or at least recently. So the rocker start Saturday will be interesting. He hasn't pitched. Last time he pitched was March 24th. That was a Tuesday. He pitched in Arizona after Big League camp had closed. The Big League club was in Texas. Actually, by the time Kamar pitched, they were on their way to Philadelphia on the plane. He did well. Went 5 innings, threw another inning in the bullpen to get his pitch count. I almost said BITCH count. Get his pitch count up into the acceptable range. He thinks he can go. At least he did before the season. He thought he could go 6 or 7 innings, no problem. It's been a while, though. I wonder if the Rangers will how close of an eye they will keep on him. I'm sure he's been throwing. He threw a little bit yesterday in the bullpen, and that's fine. The more mound time he can get, the better. But he didn't pitch well last year against the Reds. They got him pretty good in what was the Rangers' 4th game of the season. That I think it was a Monday night in Cincinnati. So the Rangers faced the Reds last year in Cincinnati and won 2 out of 3. They were outscored 14-2 in the series, yet won the series after losing the first game by rebounding with back-to-back 1-0 victories. Nathan Eovaldi had a 99 pitch complete game shutout on Tuesday night. And then Jack Leiter was part of a 1-0 combined shutout on the day game. It was very, very cold. And he got a blister, and that cost him a couple weeks. So it wasn't all good news from Cincinnati. The Reds have been to Globe Life Field only one previous time, and that was in 2024. And that series, some of you may remember, some of you may not. I'll be honest, I did not. It was punctuated, if you will, by the first career home run by Wyatt Langford. Remember, it was the inside park, the home run. He hit it off the angled wall there at the bullpen in right center, right field, and it shot straight right. And so the outfielder had to turn around and go get it. And Wyatt was so fast that he hustled his butt around there and got in there easily ahead of any play. So a memorable first career home run for him because it didn't leave the ballpark. He didn't have one of those until May after he spent some time on the injured list. So, looking forward to this one. And, the series should be good. The homestand should be good. Again, it's part of the first opening 40, if you will, the tough opening 40. Again, I think it stretches until about 60 as you include the last 2 weeks of May. Some pretty tough opponents in there. There aren't many breathers. I think there's a White Sox series in there. I think there's a Rocky series in there. I think there's an Angel series in there. So I'm going to have to go ahead and call those cupcakes. But the rest of them, maybe the Pirates. McCutchen's going to be fired up for that one, April 21st to 23rd. So maybe he starts all three of those games. It's going to be his Rangers debut in front of the home folk. And no left-hander, though, scheduled for the Reds. So will Jock Peterson start all three of those games? I would think not. I think that McCutchen needs to play at least one of those games to try to, keep the juices flowing. Skip Schumacher will, of course, do what he has to do to get guys into games. You see how even today the game was, not over, but it was a pretty comfortable lead for the Orioles at that point. But Skip went to the bench with Josh Smith, getting him in there, and also getting in Evan Carter for at bats. He did keep He did keep McCutchen in the game to face a right-hander late in the game rather than use Jock Peterson there. So, hey, maybe, I don't know, you want to read into that? That's fine. Jock is 0 for 8 this season with 2 walks and an RBI and a sacrifice fly. Too early to give up on him, but at some point, if it continues the way it did last season throughout spring training and so far through his 2 starts, then yeah, something may have to give, and it may be that McCutchen gets in there, but that's for another discussion. We need a little more runway for him, and I know. Yeah, Joe says Jung worse than that. Well, he was entering today. He at least has a couple hits now and an RBI. Hey, he's on a 1-game hitting streak, or he's 2 for his last 3. Why don't we go for that? He was 0 for 18. Now he's 2 for his last 3. Still batting below 100. Still higher than Jock Peterson. And then Wyatt Langford, he's struggling a little bit. I know he had the triple Tuesday night, maybe a 2-hit game, but he's going to be fine. Everybody thinks he is. Plays well defensively, smart on the bases, good on the bases. Just got to dial it in a little bit. All right, we're going to go to our last ad break here. I'm going to tell you about some pretty cool stuff, and we'll do that right after this on the DLLS Rangers podcast. All right, guys, diehard time. That's the foundation here. You need to become a diehard at alldls.com. Get you access to all of our stories, 20% off of merch, 20% off our events. And, there's the QR code. Go ahead and scan it. But there is currently, as John was explaining, what's the name of the Cowboy sale, John?
It's the free agent frenzy.
Free agent frenzy.
Started a month ago, but I think it technically never ends.
It started a month ago. it actually on the website is called Combine Intro Offer. So if you go to alldls.com/combine-intro-offer, I'm sorry, hyphen. Those are hyphens, not dashes, hyphens. alldls.com/combine-intro-offer. Take you to a page. You can become a diehard for $36 plus a free T-shirt. Don't tell anybody I told you that. And then we have new merch also. New Rangers opening day merch at store.allcitynetwork.com. I have ordered the 2 hats and the T-shirt. Again, it's not sweatshirt weather yet. And when I do get the sweatshirt, I'm going to get the navy, or not the navy one, the royal blue one. I don't know that I'm a fan of the red on me. I like red on the Rangers, but I don't know that it's quite good enough for me. So anyway, do that. We have tons and tons and tons of shirts. We're not supposed to call it Rangers gear anymore. The Rangers lawyers apparently heard us calling it that, so we're going to call it merch from the team that wears red, white, and blue and plays its games in Arlington. That kind of merch. Also, the football team that plays right down the street from them, and then the basketball and the hockey team that play down the street. Now, they haven't complained, so we're going to call that Stars, Cowboys, and Mavs March, but not Rangers. All right, here we go. We're going to go ahead and back clean up, and looking forward to it, to clear up the rotation talk. The Rangers are only officially listing Mackenzie Gore as their opening day starter, so the rest is going to officially fall into place a little bit later after that. So, got to be official. Got to be official here. All right, let's back clean up, and then let's go ahead and start out with a couple injuries. Zach Eflin, who we saw leave the Rangers game yesterday, he left with elbow discomfort. Scheduled for an MRI, so that's never good. He was really beat up last year. Had to have some back surgery in the offseason. That's never any fun. As somebody who's had back surgery, trust me on that one. So he's out. First start. He didn't sign for a ton of money, but still the Orioles were counting on him for a lot more than one start. And then Cody Ponce, who came from Korea, had the fabulous season last year in Korea, signed with the Blue Jays, signed a 3-year deal. Pretty affordable, as I recall, like $3 and $27. Well, anyway, he's got a sprained ACL, and he's going to go on the IL if he hasn't already. Blue Jays are waiting to see if it's a complete tear of the ACL, which would cost him the whole season. A sprain, he might be able to get back, but they just keep running into pitching injuries, those Blue Jays. So their depth is being tested early. Good thing they can score a bunch of runs. Also, good thing they open their season against the A's and the Rockies. Although the Rockies did beat them. The other day. Some extensions. Colt Emerson, the young shortstop, number 7 prospect in baseball for the Mariners. The Mariners went ahead and gave him an 8-year, $95 million contract, even though he's never made an appearance in the major leagues. He is still awaiting his MLB debut. He had a good spring. A lot of people thought he might make the opening day roster. Alas, he did not, so he's in Tacoma. They had to put him on the active roster, or on the 40-man roster, which they did, and then they optioned him to Tacoma. Anyway, that's a lot. The last deal of its kind was Jackson Chourio with the Brewers, got like 8 and 70 something, or maybe 8 and 85. It was announced at the winter meetings one year. It was like the only deal that was announced at the winter meetings. And the Cardinals are talking about, at least there's been some interest. They are open to the possibility of giving J.J. Weatherholt, who made his major league debut on opening day, hit a home run, had another RBI in that game. They're talking about giving him, or at least they're interested in the possibility of exploring a extension for their young stud player there. A couple of transactions, Rule 5 transactions. Jedrickson Pena, he was designated for assignment by the White Sox. He was a Rule 5 pick. Then Angel Bastardo, let's just keep saying Bastardo, given back to the Red Sox by the Blue Jays, who DFA'd him last week. So, again, probably the 100th time we've talked about it, but for all of you listening for the first time, Rule 5 transactions, Carter Baumler. Okay, it's how it applies to Carter Baumler, who's in the Rangers bullpen. If the Rangers are to decide that they need to move on from Mr. Baumler, which he's given no indication that they are willing to do that, first step is he's designated for assignment. All right. Then if he clears waiver, so that's what happened with Pena from the White Sox. If he clears waiver, which is what happened with Bastardo, then the Blue Jays had to give him back to the Red Sox. So you can work out a trade. That's the third step there, a third possibility. So, but Baumler really hasn't given the Rangers any reason to. And again, like we talked about early on, if the lead or deficit is 5, Carter Baumler comes alive. Kellyman, who on the Rangers gets the next extension? Well, I would think it's Wyatt Langford. It just seems to make sense. Just saw the Pete Crow Armstrong deal, and there are a lot of similarities between those two from age and power and speed and what they're able to do from opposite sides of the plate, but they play the same position. So it just seems like that's the blueprint there, and would definitely need like to see that happen. It probably needs to happen. So I would say Wyatt. Jack, I think I probably wait another year. Just let him get through this year. Let him get through it healthy, and then let him get through it performing well. And then maybe talk about it, I don't know, late this season or before the expected lockout begins or coming out of the lockout. I don't know. It seems like he's a definite candidate for that, though. And then I don't know, who is there a third one at this point? Let me think. Who was on this team? I don't know. Would you do Berger if he has a good year in his first year of arbitration? Would you do him? Maybe try to buy out a year of free agency, give him something reasonable. Carter, what if Carter has a good year? Probably still need to see him healthy for another year. Anybody on the pitching staff besides Leiter? Maybe Gore. Gore, who would be a free agent after next season. That wouldn't be a bad one. And what if deGrom has a fantastic year? I know he has another year of control left, but I mean, if he looks like he's going to pitch well to his age, let's say 40 or 41 season, maybe you give him something. Anyway, that's just me spitballing. There are a couple of umpire mishaps here the last couple of days of note, both yesterday. Okay, so Red Sox at Astros. Brian Bayo is pitching. Cam Smith is hitting. So Smith swung and missed at the first 3 pitches. Now, after the first pitch or the second pitch, there's a stolen base and an error. So there's a little chaos there. He steps back in, swings and misses. It's 3 straight strikes, swinging strikes. However, the at-bat continued, and then, on top of this, it went foul ball, ball, foul ball, ball. It went ball, foul ball, ball, foul ball, ball, ball. 3 balls, and Cam Smith goes down to first base, and everybody's like, hey, that's great. He walked. So he struck out and did not strike out, and he took a 3-pitch walk. After the game, Mark Wegner, who's a pretty darn good umpire, he said, I lost track. Bad mistake. I'm sorry. So that was bad. CB Buckner yesterday, there's a play in which Brewers runner was going to first base. The play wasn't at first base. It was kind of, I don't want to say chaos, but anyway, CB Buckner determined that the runner did not touch first base when, in fact, everybody in the building saw that he did. So did replay, which overturned it. CB's kind of been in the news here because opening day of the second game of the season, he had 6 pitches overturned. Now, today, there's kind of a scary deal with CB. He was behind the plate in that Brewers game, and Mizorowski, or however you say his name, was pitching through a 100-mile-per-hour heater that got fouled off straight into Buckner's face. He went down and left the game. So CB, the thing about the difference between CB Buckner and Angel Hernandez, as explained to me last year by Bruce Bochy, is that Angel was bad and very, very pissy about it. Like, he didn't want to hear anything. If he made a bad call and you yelled at him, there's a good chance you were getting run. CB, on the other hand, is bad, but like, you can joke around with him and give him some grief about it, and he'll laugh and anything, and be a good guy about it, and you aren't going to get run unless you're really, really bad. So if you're going to be a bad umpire, be a good guy about it. I think that's the lesson here. All right, guys, let's go to the chat as we've batted cleanup, and now we got some things to clean up. Joe loves the umpires getting shown up with the ABS. Who was it today behind the plate? Marquez. He's not very good. I just think there are some guys out there. This is going to be painful, and we are not going to be happy about it. Certain guys back there. Although I think like I said, there's a chance to market this thing. I think the Rangers should really market it like, 3 successful challenges and you win a free pizza from Papa John's or something like that. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I did forget to mention one thing in the batting cleanup. Yesterday was Frisco Media Day. Frisco begins its season tomorrow at Corpus Christi. Leandro Lopez will be pitching for the Rough Riders. They will be home Tuesday for their home opener. Josh Trenadu is pitching that game. Round Rock is in the midst of its season. They're 4 games deep. They're 1-3. They play again tonight. And then the other affiliates, they open. Let's take a look. Hub City opens Friday, and they are playing Frederick. Okay, at home. Got some fireworks if you guys want to go to Spartansburg, South Carolina. And then the Hickories, the Crawdads, are opening tomorrow against Columbia. I think I saw somebody say that A.J. Russell is making his professional debut on Saturday, so that'll be fun to watch. He seems to be a good one. Very nice guy, big guy. And anyway, we back to Frisco. Went out there yesterday, talked to Dylan Dreiling, who played with A.J. Russell in college. So he had a good time with that, and said that he's like the nicest guy around, but you get on the mound and he turns into an animal. We talked with Keith Jones, who's just a good egg, just a wonderful, wonderful guy. Hoping good things for him. He's back at Frisco this year. Dreiling making his Double-A debut after a really hot finish last year after an up and down first 5 months of the season. He is firmly entrenched in the Frisco lineup. He's going to be their center fielder. We also talked with Josh Trenadu, who was in big league camp, got a lot of experience out of that. And then we talked to Eric Loomis, also in big league camp. Just a good guy. Just had a good time with us. And Chad Comer is going to be managing out there from he's from the area, grew up in the area, still lives in the area. And then the pitching coach, Thomas St. Clair, good guy, a lot of energy. These guys had nothing but great things to say about him. Going to be a pitching-heavy team there. Winston Santos is not with them to start the year. He's eventually going to join them. He is still in Arizona. The broken hand, wrist, thumb situation, left hand. That's the good thing for a right-hander. I saw he was throwing live the last day of Rangers camp, so that was the 21st. So he's probably graduated. They're probably going to give him some couple outings and extended before he joins the Frisco rotation, and then it'll be a slow build-up. It'll be a slow build-up for all of them. Even at AAA, there's a slow build-up. But it looks like at AAA, a couple things are developing. Same group of relievers pitching on the same day. Just something to watch. Something to watch. Guys who are working, multiple innings like Robbie Alstrom and Peyton Gray, things like that. Alexis Diaz pitched in the game last night. Another guy to watch. So there is some relief depth down there at AAA. Starter heavy Frisco team. some guys at Hub City who have some things to prove, and then a young team, a lot of Latino players at low A, and AJ Russell, who has a chance to make a pretty quick jump to Hub City. Okay, that's it for our first post-game show of the year. We've hit the 1 hour mark, and I'm officially done. We'll be back Friday. It'll be 1 o'clock our normal time. I'm going to do it from the ballpark because then 1 hour is 1 o'clock hour is 2 hours before the home opener against Cincinnati, 3:05 Friday. And as we learned today, Mackenzie Gore will be starting. So until Friday, be safe out there. And I'm Jeff Wilson. Thanks to John Anderson. We'll see you next time on the DLLS Rangers podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.